In June, I sold over 600 cards on COMC. And in today's video, I'm going to show you some of the data behind it in both an app that I've built with Python and Streamlit, as well as my COMC dashboard. On top of that, I'll be showing you the purchase and the sold price for each of these 600 cards. This is just one video in a full series that I'm developing on building out a COMC store from scratch. I essentially started this store last fall. I dropped off a bunch of cards at the National, and I keep trying to scale this up as much as I can. So essentially started from nothing, and we're right now at about $45,000 worth of inventory. And sales wise, I've sold about $25,000 worth of cards, which is awesome to see. But I have a lot more work to do, and let's take a look at some of the stats. All right, so before I jump into my app that I've built out, I just want to show you guys really quick where you can grab your data to upload to this app. So all you want to go to is your sales history, and then download sales history. It'll download as a CSV, should get notification based around that. So just click that, then you'll see it gets downloaded. And then all you have to do is go up over here and drag and drop your CSV file. A few things. Number one, I do not store any of your data. All the code that is based around this application is on my GitHub page. So feel free to study that code if you want to really deep dive into it. And also this is kind of open source. So if you have any suggestions or anything that you want to see added to this, I can add that in. I think it'd be really cool. And I would give you credit also in one of these type of videos for a new feature that's been built. I do want to say also, I have not had a chance to update these dates on here. I know I mentioned in the last video, after I'd record, I'd get into these dates and figure out my bug. I really didn't. I should have, but it's just kind of on my backlog. I have a lot of things I'm working on right now. I run 2 YouTube channels, have a full-time job, and I'm working on an app in the background. Not this type of app, but another type of app that deals with sports cards. So I'm a bit busy with that, so I haven't really had a chance to make any new updates to this, although it is way down to my priorities on my backlog. I'll eventually get to it. But if anyone wants to fix it, feel free to go ahead and do that, and I'll update the code. Again, I'll give you a shout out. It shouldn't take too long. But just to show you some of the stats that I have over here, sport breakdown, baseball, basketball, and football are kind of my bread and butter on the site for buying and selling. Baseball, no surprise. That's the stuff I know the best. Basketball, I've been getting into a lot more. Just even buying at shows just to move on COMC. The reason is it's super liquid on the site. I feel like the profile of people that purchase a lot on the COMC are more lenient toward or lean towards more of a basketball collector than vintage baseball or baseball in general. And when you're trying to scale up an account, you definitely want to factor in liquidity with there. Now, liquidity wise, obviously modern is the best, right? Because a lot of people are trying to buy. I just don't like the roller coaster of prices on modern. And especially since the new cards within the last 5 years, there's so much of them out there. As people add cards to the site, the price tends to go down, minus like numbered cards. They aren't always on there, but I just try to stay away from that. I try to find more stable purchases. And if you look at my decade distribution, right, for most people, 2020s would probably be way up over here. It's okay for me. I bought some stuff from 2020s. Really, 1990 through 2000 has been the best. A lot of stable stuff, Hall of Famers that are still somewhat relevant in culture and different things like that. So a lot there. 2010 to 2020, I was a teenager. I did rip some packs. I know a lot of the players over there. So that's why I tend to move a decent amount over there. And like, you might look at this and say, I don't really have a ton of vintage, minus like the 70s through 80s. You got to remember, there's a lot less vintage cards out there and listed on COMC than there are modern side of things. There's only so many deals, and I do buy and sell a lot on the platform. So that's why these numbers are lower. If you look at like cards I sell outside of COMC or like more expensive type of stuff, these numbers would be way higher than these numbers over here. But it's kind of the reverse on here. You just got to look at what people are purchasing. And on here, right, and so far this year, cards mainly added that I've sold is 302. Flip cards is 3166. And you can see some other stats. Average purchase price, which is average, I don't always like using, but just ease of use, I put this in here, $3.29 of something that I tend to flip. Probably should throw in median. I would expect it to be a little bit lower. I've purchased some really expensive cards before, and I think this is going to be a bit skewed. Median I would assume is probably around $2, but again, something I should probably add in over here. Okay, top 10 selling players: Griffey, Jordan, Jeter, Bryant, Mantle, Shaq, Nolan Ryan, Ohtani, Gretzky, Brady. I think that's the same as the last videos I went through this. So no big changes over there. It makes sense. What people really collect the most. I'm trying to think who should be in here. It would be like a top 10 from different sports, whether baseball or basketball. I don't know. I think this is a pretty good list to start with. And kind of some more of the stats breakdown. Let me go over this, but baseball's been the most profitable. It's sold 11,000, profits around 3,800. Now, this doesn't factor in the cost of acquisition of cards that I add to the site. So there's always that cost associated with it. That's why something like if you look at non-sports, right, it says my profit's 1,200, but I've had 1,600 sales. There's a cost to non-sports. Most of my non-sports I sell are stuff that I've added to the site, not really stuff that I've flipped on the site. And these stats would be different. Like you can always filter down on here, added versus flipped, just to let you know on that. What I find interesting though, and there's a lot of interesting data points, and could easily make a very long video talk about the data points on here, things I want to add. But really, days to sale kind of shows you the liquidity of what I've been purchasing. Now, I mentioned basketball moves really good for me. You can see the middle 50% is about 26 days for that quantile. And, the fastest basketball cards move in 3 days compared to baseball, where it's 4. Basketball just moves way, way faster. And I'm buying liquid stuff in both baseball and basketball. Occasionally I will buy non-liquid stuff if the margins are there, but I try to stay towards more liquidity side. Always trying to buy Hall of Famers or players that people view as an equivalent to a Hall of Famer, like a Pete Rose. But basketball moves way faster than there. And football also moves pretty good, although I have a lot less football cards that I'm purchasing than baseball or basketball, which makes sense if you look at this sports breakdown of what's sold, right? Basketball is over here compared to football, and baseball is way at top. And you can see kind of the markup where I'm at, like middle 50%. Markup baseball is 37, basketball 34. So a little bit more margin on baseball compared to basketball. Football 38. So maybe I should be looking a little bit more on the football side of things because it's moving pretty fast at a little bit higher 50% than baseball and basketball. So maybe I should invest more time with that. And this is kind of where these stats tend to be a little bit helpful. And there's other stats on annualized. Again, could spend quite a lot of time here, but let's jump into my COMC dashboard and we can take a look at more stuff over there. Okay, so I'm now on my COMC dashboard. Let's go over a few things. Number one, items in inventory approaching 7,500. I mean, this should be hit probably within the next week or two. And total SRP, it does not matter. Good, it's at 36. Items without SRP, 13. And then total asking price is about $46,000. To add to that, I have a lot of cards that I still haven't priced yet. And if I go to inventory manager, just to show you guys what's kind of in the backlog, we have all of this, or let me show without prices really quick. All of this to really price out all these slabs that just got recently added, and a few more down here. It stops at this Richard Wagner, which I'm keeping for my own collection, but I mean, that's a good amount of cards that still need to be added. So I'm hoping this gets me closer to 50. I think we're going to hit 50 really soon, just because of the cards are going to be added to the count still. We'll go over that in a second. But regardless, 73.52 for sale. I have 72 without an asking price. So minus a good amount over here. Items not for sale, right? You're looking at what, 45 cards that I still need to price out, assuming that I marked everything not for sale that I should have. So items sold so far in history, I've sold 4,238 items. I've purchased 10,196. I've added 1,537 items to the site. But if you go down here, check this out. So this batch says 38 remaining. I think all of those have entered so far, but I still have 1866 that should be here in October, then 2, which is weird, and then 267 over here as well. So really, really good amount. I'd still need to be added to the site. Well over 2,000. And that's not including the stuff that I probably need to drop off at the National. Now, I don't know if COMC is doing what promos yet at the National. I hope they have some good promos. I know last year, I believe it's like those cards that you process in your account a little bit faster. Not really bulk. I'm hoping that they have a bulk promo. Like I probably have all those cards from Chantilly plus a decent amount still that I have to drop off. And they're in no rush to get added to the site. I don't care if they're added tomorrow or added 6 months down the line, just because I'll take some time to price them out. And most of them are stable cards. They're not things that are going to fluctuate overnight as well. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. But you know, I started selling a lot on COMC last year around the national time when I dropped off my first big order. So to see around 50K in 1 year is pretty awesome. And that's not even including the stuff that trickled in, because it still takes a while to trickle in. So I'm still giving myself a few months. What you guys care about though more is probably the seller stats over here. So let's go to sales by month and June 2024. So I sold under $3,000. Really wanted to hit that 3,000 number, and no, I was $31 short. Well, really $30.92 if you want to round that up. I did sell 649 cards, which is an all-time high if you look at the numbers sold. But it's a positive, don't get me wrong. I would rather have total sales be higher though than numbers sold. But you got to look at it at a positive perspective. You're still moving 600 plus cards a month, which is really good. You're selling what, 20 a day? So a little bit more at 649, but it is what it is, right? So going back over here, let me just go back to my dashboard. I did also send some stuff into grading. I don't know if I showed it last video. I don't think I did. So if I go over here to grading, which I'm blind right now, I'll just type in grading. Grading submissions. Here we go. I don't know why I was missing that. A few things. So I sent in these 1983 reprint mantles. These were some of the first reprints I believe that Topps did of this card, and I was shocked by some of the grading comps. Now, I do not expect 10s. So if you take a look at the cards, I'm hoping that these get like 8s. This one's way off centered. But that's my target goal. Even if these come back as 7s, I believe I do have room on these to make a decent amount of money. I just don't want them to be like 5s or 6s, which I don't think they are, just taking a look at the cards like this. And obviously it's not perfect with scans, but they didn't look too bad. And I don't think there's even any for sale right now. Sold out, right? And you can see a PSA 7, someone's asking $275. A CGC 8, they're selling for $150. The 7's way overvalued at $275, but it's a very popular card. And another one over here that I recently got back from grading is this 1940 on here, Alfred Hitchcock. Now, I don't know exactly when this was graded. Fortunately, it does not tell me here, but this came back at 3. It's a good looking 3. I really thought this was going to crack a 4 or a 5. So I'll probably get close to breaking even on this, and it's not the most liquid card. I know someone just listed a 4 for $295. Henry, which is a good pivot. Does anyone know who Henry's trading card store is? There's a few people that asked me, and there's some cards that I want on his store as well. And know if there's a way to reach out to Henry over here. He has a lot of non-sports and stuff like that. So if anyone has any contact or knows Henry, or if you're watching this video, reach out, because there's some stuff I'm interested in. And I have a few other people that do COMC stuff. And the non-sports side of things that want to know too, because most of the non-sports sellers on COMC, or some of the bigger sellers, know each other, and we already buy and sell from each other as well. So if you know Henry, let me know. All right, let me go back to my dashboard really quick. Okay, so we went over that with the grading item side of things, gone over these. I guess we can go over to some of the sales history and take a look at that. I think that's a pretty appropriate side of things. I really didn't pick up anything from my personal collection, and we'll go back over here to 6:30, and this was the last sale of the month. The 2006 National Baseball Card Day Mickey Mantle, 50 cents into 66 cents. Well, one of the things you guys will notice, and I need to do a better job on it, is a, a bit better margins. But again, cards add up when you're selling 600 a month. And I'm not always going to turn a profit on stuff. I have a decent amount of stuff in inventory. Some things, just based off of how the market goes and what people add to the website, are probably a little bit overpriced now. So I need to have a better system of repricing things, because ideally I want to start selling 1,000, 2,000 cards a month. So just something to call out. I'm going to look at some stuff that have bigger margins, and we'll talk about it here. But 2021 Chrome Judge $1.68 to 220, Herbert's into 268, 270. Another Judge Refractor, pretty good over there. Griffey made 40 cents off of Gretzky, 74 to $1.03. Short print Jackie Robinson, 75 cents into 93 cents. Vinnie Johnson, 1986. Fleer, 210 to 285. Strawberry Griffey, 35 to 43. I'm surprised how cheap this card is, as you have two players that people love. I mean, there's a lot of Strawberry collectors and a ton of Griffey collectors. Probably a ton of these out there. That's the reason why. Emmett Smith, $1.50 to 2. And then Mutushito. I'm probably 100% butchering this, but I knew some of his stuff was a little bit liquid. I picked these up very cheap. I mean, that's a Poden and then an Ogden on here. And I was able to sell the Ogden for $7 and the Poden for $5.50. So I'm going to look at it from that perspective. You're pretty happy. Mookie Betts, a 2014 update feature now, $4.74 to $6.50, which is a pretty nice $2 profit on that. 11 cents, not too worried about that side of things. 44 to 66. I mean, these things add up. 41 to 57. And nice dollar on this Kevin McHale. That moved actually pretty fast, because I remember purchasing this. You can see I purchased 6.4, sold 6.29, all within 1 month. This one took forever. This one was bought in February and sold now. And, you know, I still have that COMC tool that I've built out. I'm curious to see some data on like how long you purchased the card, margins and different things like that. This one was added almost a year ago. It took that much time to sell. It's 92 cents. So again, 50 cents to insert it. Probably made no money when I purchased this card, unfortunately. Vintage is tough. I wish COMC had a score on like vintage, like how nice the eye appeal was, but that's kind of tough to do. Even I think Tag's still trying to do that with modern and trying to get like a system built in. So, and the grading companies don't have it. So, ideal world. But you have a Sebastian Bach over here. Barry Larkin, 50 to 61. See some other stuff. Denny McLean traded that one from 630 to 922. That's an awesome movement right there. Jason Tatum's, didn't the Celtics just win? I think that's what happened. 17 to 22. And also $22 over there. 69 Seaver. Mazeroski, 58, 885 to 1117. This was a huge one. Earl Campbell, 10 into $22. Sold a bunch of, not a bunch, but some of the better scoops. So this is John Brown's raid. He's up a long time ago. And $39 on that one. That one's gone up a bit. There's actually a John Brown card from the 1800s that was issued in France. Someone sent me a picture of it. I didn't even realize it was in the set. So then we have a Rough Riders. I think this card's actually kind of undervalued for how cool it is with this Teddy Roosevelt. And $21. The Teddy stuff in really 1900 is so liquid in the non-sports side of things. British Lose, Battle of New Orleans. That's Andrew Jackson, right? Andrew Jackson, there you go. And that one sold for $40 also. Berlin Airlift Begins. That side of things. That sold for $21. And again, if you collect scoops, I've uploaded a lot to my account. I still have a few others I got to price out. But Mahomes rookie $9 into 1163. Rafael Devers 2016 materials $759. On that side of things, keep going through these. Made it solid 5 cents on this Ray Allen rookie. That's doing well, guys. Really, really well on that side. Agassi $1.60 to 285. 10 days it took on that side of things. 86 Dan Marino, 94 to $1.37. Some 94 Jeters, 50% there. 30 cents over 60. Got to be happy with those type of flips. Maybe the dollar amount's not the best, but this trout I did bad on. I started selling some of this trout stuff cheaper when he got injured. So 385 to 251. It kind of hurts, to be honest with you, but sometimes you just got to get out of it. It's dead weight inventory. Heinz Reward $1.60 to 260. What else is going on over here? $11 for this 2004 King Felix. His stuff still moves quite a bit. I actually sold another King Felix last month, I want to say, in the video. And not much profit margin on these. 22 Brooks Robinson, 20 cents and at 60 cents. 3X. I'm good with that. This was a nice one. 460 into $14 for this 1990 Pinnacle Epic plays. This Pinnacle stuff, Epics, are really popular. I just don't know enough about them. Nuke from Bull Durham. I've sold a few of these before. Reggie Bush, 260 to 432. $8 to $10 for this Billy Ripken. You know, Billy Ripken is no cow, obviously, but famous family and a famous card with his FF card. Figured when I bought this autograph authenticated for $8, there's no way you lose on it. And it took a while, right? I bought this in 11, but made a nice $2 essentially off of that one. So you can't be too mad. Some Scherzers I've sold pretty well too, $4 into $5. I don't know if he's back yet or not. Kareem, 238 to 318. Mantle reprints always do well for me. Griffey, $9 to $12. And this Billy Ripken, it's something that took a while to. It's graded in February, I believe, and then $36 into 41. So I'm okay with that. I need to get more stuff graded though on the site. I've done a bad job with that. So if I see some stuff that I think could grade well, I got to do that. 86 Canseco's. I bought 3 of these, $1.50 and one for $2.10. Sold them all for about $2.28. Oh, really $2.40, but after fees, $2.28. That side of things. Bowman, Brady, $1.60 to $2.60 on their Donnie Shell. Another first airplane flight, PSC 6, $21. Again, I was surprised how much these scoops have been moving so far. Hopefully all of them move through in just a few months. But Kent Herbeck, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I apologize. 3 into 348, and then also $4 on that side of things, which I'm curious if I look at this now. They're all at 478 plus, and they move decent amount, 77 sales. So 82 traded is pretty popular, obviously because of the Cal rookie. But moving forward, let's see if I have some other stuff that has pretty margins. And can't cover everything in one video. Mookie Betts, home field advantage. I thought I was going to take a loss on it. It was taking a while to sell. More basketball, 87, 86, McHale and Dennis Johnson. 85 cents to $1.30. Brady's, right? Really good margin on some of the Brady stuff. Taking some losses on Brady stuff. I've also done well. So kind of in between. Vottos. Someone bought a lot of my Vottos, $1.50s. I moved all these for about $2 or so. 90s cards, purchased a ton of stuff over there. Garrett Cole, as soon as he came back, got some sales too. I think 49 to 69, 65 to 70. I think this guy offered on both cards. I said, why not? Probably should have held it for a little while. What are these even at? I'm curious. They're at $1 now, but I mean, it's not really not a liquid card. 18 times in 4 years? Not the best. So, I got out of it, made 5 cents. Kobe Bryant's always do really well. Those were purchased through eBay. Von Miller, 9 cents. Another Votto over there. Paid a little too much at $2.25. 74 McCovey. That actually sold. I didn't even realize it, but $24 on that card. Jerry Logan, football player. I believe I paid like $9 for this at auction. And for some, I thought, why not? Look at that, $18 into that card. And some Gretzky's, right? 80 cents dollars. Like good 15-20% margins. Mickey Hatcher, very famous card. Sold that one for $6.65. $1.30 there. Gretzky, 12 into $17. That's phenomenal. $57. These poor Ginters still do pretty well on the website. And cool Papa Bell. As soon as I got this card in, I kid you not, I listed it and it sold, I think, same day, like within an hour. So I probably underpriced it a little bit, but and same with this too. This sold within like an hour also. It sold for $53. Michael Jordan 7 into 9. Bunch of Ken Griffey Hardball Galaxies. Did really well on these. 450 to 540, 3 to 540, 4 to 680. And there's not really any of these left. I don't think they're at like $7. So super liquid card, 150 sales. I call that super liquid if you think about it, because 48 months for 4 years. So 3 are selling, right? Like if you run it up to 50 and times it by 3, you have 3 sales every month, 150. So you figure if you have the cheapest card, it'll take you a week, 2 weeks to sell that type of card. And I feel like if a card sells at least twice a month, it's pretty liquid. So anything close to 100 plus. Bunch of 87s. Like these are always really good for me. And like, again, super liquid, 325 sales. There's mine right there. So someone buy that, assuming no one, this doesn't keep going down, because you always have the lower part of it. Someone adds one to the site, they want to be lower than 469 sometimes, so go 450, 440, or it could be the other way. Someone lists it for $5, $6, $7. You don't know, but this what sometimes happens to cards. But being super liquid like this, I'm third in line. I'm okay with that. I don't need to really reprice that right now. We'll keep going through. $17. This Charles Dickens. Always these Dickens Oggins do extremely well for me on here. And I get it, he's a very famous poet, or famous author in general. These haven't done as well as I thought they were going to do. These ATC mechas. $3. I may reprice a bunch of these, to be honest with you. Had them for 5 months, and I've sold one, I think. Garcol Refractor, $13 into $19. Love to see that one. We're at 615 right now. Todd Helton, numbered to 100, sold for $7. I'm great with that. Ryan Sandberg, 2 into 272. Tony Gwynn, $3.49 to $5. I typically stay away from COMC graded stuff like X to Near Mint or VG, but sometimes they're not bad. $29 to $32. Not really the profit I wanted to see on this 1992 Ultra, but I have had this for 6 months, so sometimes you want to get out of them. $6 to $9 on this one. It took 3 days. I mean, when you see a Jordan slab for like $6, how do you pass that up and take advantage of those, right? Leon Day, I sold this for $36 into $118. That's insane. This should be the thumbnail of the video. I already created my thumbnails, but I might change those up to this Leon Day. It's incredible. We'll keep going forward. Let's see if I see anything else. 14 to 18 on this Shaq Beam Team. Beam Team always moves really well. Something I've learned as I got into junk wax side of things on the YouTube series. Those YouTube videos do help me out. I learned quite a bit from going from sport to sport. And I know most people watch the channel are vintage baseball or vintage non-sports, but it's good to expand and see what's buying, or like what people pay a good premium on. It helps for card shows and it helps for COMC a little bit. Keith, he sells a ton on COMC, but he bought a bunch of my Randy Johnson, Gary Carter, 77 Tops. He bought a lot of my stuff. 94 Emmett Smith, $1.10 to $1.61. When I was into the Chantilly Card Show, I was in the back room prepping some content, and Smith was just chilling in the lounge. Didn't even realize it was him. So kind of a funny story with Emmett Smith right there. Boggs, $1.12 to $1.58. This one, yeah, I took a loss on this. This one I paid $2.73, got $1.85 on, and like there's still one at $2. I still think it wasn't a horrible buy at 273 being its Mookie Betts, but it was not moving for me. So sometimes you just gotta sell. Big Ben 91 into $1.12. Kobe Jermaine O'Neal 3 to 456. Trout 406 to 558. I'm shocked I did not take a loss on that. Garrett Cole 36 cents into $1.13. Going forward. Let's see if there's any other big ones. Probably one more page after this, I would think. Jackie Robinson to Manny Machado. Orange jersey 369 to 618. Ty Cobb 6 to 665. Ginter no number Ricky Henderson. I found this in a bargain bin a while ago. $19. I'm happy with that. I know these no numbers take a while to move. So I'm good with the type of profit. Craig Biggio 308 to 444. Pujols patch 4 to 713. That should say manufactured, but I don't want to confuse people. Paul Cross, $1 to $1.90. Probably butchered his last name, but that's all right. And this should be the last page, I would think. I don't know. Is there 25 or 50 cards per page? Oh, we still have a few pages. I can't remember, but regardless, going through McKinley, $16. McKinley stuff sells pretty well for me. 10 to 15 bucks for some of his Ogdens. Aaron Donald, 93 cents. His stuff has gone down quite a bit. Just looking at as Chuck on here. This is MC. I still thought it would sell. I'm glad I took that gamble. $9 into 17. Billy Pierce, $7, $22. Pedro Martinez, 10, 14 into $19. Sobs do well. All these Chris Bosches, 29 cents to the 54. Look at that. All purchased. I wonder what these are at now. 90s cards probably owns this whole pop. Or he sets up at shows and something like that. So, I mean, still cheaper, right? I bought these for 29 cents. It's now up to 65. And Pedroia, 52. 490 to 675. This card sells a ton. Kind of surprised. I know Pedroia is very popular up there in Boston, but also Euclid X Fractor on here. I saw this for $250 for 50 cents. I was like, all right, well, why not? I bought this all the way back in November and sold now. Knew it wasn't super liquid. Satchel Pages, $1.26, 95 to $1.26. Also, Satchel Page doesn't have a ton of cards that in his print run yet that move decently. So that is one of them that moves okay. 1999 Manning Interstate. Interstates also don't really move that well for me, but $82.53. Let's keep going forward. Jose Mendez. This also sold 89 to 133. These Laughlins have been on fire. Another Ginter, $25 for that one. Deadpool, SJC9, $19 to 27. It's interesting, man. I definitely got to do a lot more data recaps on here. Beltray, $12 to $14.39. Votto, $1.95 to $2.47. All these Goldschmidts sold. Look at that. I bought a bunch of these, and some of these I broke even on. Others made a bit more of a profit. Gretzky's, Michael Jordan Z-Force, 420 to 475. Calvin rookie, 220 to 259. Griffey, 260 to 394. And two more days left. But as I go through some of these last ones, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe if you're brand new. And if you have a COMC store, message me, whether it's social media or email. I'm always looking for new sellers to buy from. So I don't have a lot of funds in my account right now, but when it gets back up, I will be purchasing. Hulk 360 to 449. These Hulks always do really well. Very, very popular card. Won a bunch of vintage football. And Quentin Tiffany, Alex Rodriguez, uncirculated 531. So that is how the video. The first sale was this Steph Curry Stairmasters, $1.19 to $8.52. All right, that is it. I will see you in another one.